All right, guys. Welcome to the first ever podcast. My name is Carlos,
My name is Daniel. And
and yeah, that's about it. So I'm gonna just start off like introducing ourselves, right? So my name is Carlos, like I said. I'm currently majoring in architecture, and I'm in my senior year of college. We're not gonna say where we're going to college just cause, but if you know us, obviously you already know where we're going to college. And yeah, I'm 22 years old. My birthday was yesterday.
hello, my name is Daniel. Again, like Carlos, I'm a senior, but I'm majoring in mechanical engineering. Likewise, I'm not gonna diverge the college I'm going to, just for like safety purposes. But I'm also 21, and also a senior.
But all right, so I guess the reason why we should start off introducing like why we want to do a podcast and why, you know what I mean, like why are we doing this? But so this was something I was thinking about, right? And something we were all thinking about, and then because we're always having different conversations, we're always having we have so many different experiences. We all come from different cultures and whatnot. So I think it's really interesting to put our thoughts out there, and for everyone to hear, and hopefully we can find more people to relate to us.
Yeah, like, as Carlos said, we have like these unique conversations, some that make us laugh, some that just like makes us think really, really deeply. But, we all, as he said, come from different situations. And with these different situations comes different perspectives. And with these perspectives, we're able to see the world in a better light. And hopefully we're able to project and speak out our voice in speaking about these problems that we face and we see in the world from our perspective, and hopefully that you guys can learn something and also relate to us as well.
Lit. All right. We didn't start off with a name just because we don't have one yet. Um,
Yeah, it's a work in progress. We've been thinking about it for weeks on end, but we haven't found something that kind of represents who we are and our identity, so it's still a work in progress. But as we progress on, of course, we'll have a name set in stone. But if you have any recommendations, please just let us know in the comments. Um, but now, just moving on, since we're both seniors in college, we thought that our first podcast would be fitting if we started talking about college, our experiences, what we did well, what we can improve, what we would have done differently, and how others who are starting to go into college or thinking about college can also navigate and follow along in our footsteps.
yeah. So I guess the first thing we should really go into is if you're like a senior in school, in high school, or like if you have your GED or something, if you're thinking of going into college, I guess the first big question is, should you actually go to college? Like, um, yeah, that's what a lot of people have, right? It's like, is this worth it? I mean, nowadays it's kind of like mandatory in a way, right? Quote unquote mandatory, but it just really depends on everyone's experiences and what you're going through.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I grew up in a kind of pretty strict household where you're supposed to excel in what you do. You're supposed to expected to get good grades, and I was expected to go in college. My parents really pushed me to practice either like doing math, reading a lot. So it kind of led me down the path of like, oh, I'll end up going to college. But over time, I didn't feel like it was a responsibility that I have to go to college. But as I got on through high school, I felt that like, hey, I do want to go to college, expand my horizon. But that's not the case for everyone. Everyone doesn't come from the same household as I did, where I had strict parents who like made me do practice math problems at home, like on a weekend over the summer. But like some other families, have kids that are working part time too, just to help out the family. So not all situations are the same. So I don't expect you to like go to college or want to go to college because everyone's situation is different. But Carlos, you can probably talk more about it. Like, how you felt about going to college and what was going through your mind, you know? Yeah.
So basically, when I was in high school, I don't even give like I didn't care, right? I was like, fuck, like I don't care about this. Like school was just school, and in high school, like I hated school, and I hate school now. But it's just the point is that I didn't know where I was going, and I didn't because there was a whole situation going on, right? So basically, I couldn't apply for FAFSA, and that kind of just like cut everything, all my options out just threw it out the window basically. And so I was just like, oh screw it, I'm just not gonna go to college. I'm just chill, like I'll figure it out. But literally the only reason I actually went to college was because I got a full ride. And if you get a full ride, if you get some sort of this thing that's really some sort of scholarship that's close to you not paying anything, I feel like that's the only reason why I went to college, right? Because I was like, this is free money, I'm gonna take it, of course, and you get an education, whatever. And I think that's the only reason why I actually went. But if you have that option, like a full scholarship or some sort of scholarship, right? I feel like you should definitely take it and definitely follow the money if you don't know where you're going to school. Obviously look into it, but follow the money because you don't want to be stuck in loans. You don't want to be paying anything, and you don't want to be working during school. I'm working during school right now. I've been working during school ever since I basically started. Um, but it's like a choice, right? Because I don't want my parents giving me money because that's kind of wild. But I just work on my own, right? And everything that I make is basically I help out my parents a little bit, and then I kind of keep the rest for myself. But yeah, if you're working in school, I don't think you should work that much because definitely school comes first, and so yeah.
So what do you say to the people who would want to who's not considering college but just wants to pursue something else? Because you know sometimes when you're thinking about college, it's just like another 4 years of education. Yeah. Why do I have to go to school now when I can just start working and saving up my money? What do you say to them? I mean,
It all depends on you. It's like it's your life, you know what I mean? Like no one is. I mean, unless you have like some really supportive counselors or whatever. Like we did, we have really supportive counselors, um, or like parents or whatever. Unless they're making you go on, like, or if they're letting you do your own thing, it's up to you, right? Like everyone has their own paths. Like no path is correct. You just have to work your ass off and do what you have to do in order to succeed in life. And so I feel like it's up to you. Like no one can advise you like I mean they can advise you, but nobody can make you do anything. It's like your choice at the end of the day. Of course, like I said, unless your parents are making you go or whatever. I think after that, it's whatever you believe is right. Because at the end of the day, just being happy and doing what you want is what matters.
yeah, I totally agree. I think that your it's your life, so it's your decisions. Even if you feel like you're forced by your parents, I would recommend you consider all your options. Consider what's your potential and see if college is really the right thing for you. Also, you don't have to go to college right now. You can work for 4 years, 8 years, and then just go back to school and earn your degree. Some people do that. Like, there's no set time frame for when you should get your degree or if you should get a degree. But just know that, as time goes on and as time progresses, things are gonna change where jobs are gonna get more technical and you'll have to get a degree. But like at this time at the moment, you still have that option of okay, I can start working and then I can go back to college. But eventually, it'll be normal for colleges to require. I mean, it'll be normal for jobs to require some form of bachelor's degree, regardless of the job.
And so I mean, like you said, people take breaks, right? Like
Yeah.
it's whatever. Like if you gotta get your money up, right? That's it. Just work and save up your money, go to school. But if I mean, like I said, people take breaks, and sometimes they're like, "Oh, I'll keep taking a break. I'll go back eventually." Like I said, it's your life, it's your choice, whatever. But just know that if you take a break, you're gonna be like, "Oh, I'm making money. I'm just living my life. I'm not having to do homework, projects, whatever. I'm chilling." If that's what you like, that's up to you. But if you're like, "Oh, I want to get my degree. I want to get my education straight." I feel like taking a break is lit, but just make sure that you have your mindset of I'm going back to school, because taking that break with like from high school and college is kind of because you're not used to it, right? So you have to get in the hang of it again, and so I mean it's up to you. But at the end of the day, like if you have the option just to go right after college, I mean right after high school, I would do that. Um, or like.
Forgot to record. Really?
No, my mic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck! I was looking down like, yeah, we're going good. And then I was like, fuck. We can keep going if you want.
Let's start now. Let's start now. So this is what. See, this is what happened. So this is the first time.
I forgot. I'm sorry, bro. It's my fault. Let me delete the file. We're sorry. This is podcast number 1. I thought, you know what? Okay, we're getting recording. We got the cameras running, but then my mic just started. I realized when I looked down at my laptop, oh, I'm not recording. So sorry if the audio sounds scuffed at the first maybe 10 minutes of the podcast, but just know that we're human. We make mistakes. This is our first time, but please bear with us. We'll make sure that our podcasts are well done and thorough by the next couple that we do. So just to continue on, back to our topic about just education in general. Just consider that education is more of an investment towards your future. Um, because if you look at the statistics, right, people with a bachelor's degree makes tremendously more than people without a bachelor's degree and just only a high school degree. Even getting an associate's degree, which is two years of college, you'll make better money compared to just having a high school degree. So just consider that in mind, knowing that education will always have a good return in the future if you invest in it.
I think it's like, what's it called? People. Education can be so many different things. It doesn't have to be school. It's just to make that clear, right? Like, you don't have to be going to school and learning about history, learning about math or whatever, right? Like, that wasn't necessarily education. I mean, it is obviously, but it's like you can be educated on so many other things outside of just
definitely.
school. But definitely being educated, like being well-rounded, like in every sort of field type of thing. I feel like that's really important. But talking about school, like what if you don't know? What would you tell someone that doesn't know what to choose, like what major to pick when they're going into school?
I mean, the first 2 years of college is just general requirements. Like everyone's taking chemistry, everyone's taking a math course, everyone's taking a history course, and then everyone's taking an intro course. So in the 2 year period that you have, that's when you start finding yourself and what you like. So you in that kind of 2 year range, you can pick some classes that you might be interested in. You might start off with a major. You can start off undecided, but pick classes that you're interested in, and then you might go into the class and say, "Hey, this class is ass. I don't want. I don't like this class. I might not like that major then." So, for instance, one of my friends, right? He tried to be a comp sci major. He went to a math class, and he's just like, screw this. I'm switching majors. So your major doesn't have to be set in stone right away, but make sure to be proactive in choosing the classes that you're interested in and seeing and vetting out which ones that you don't like and which ones you like, and then start following that path that interests you. So just make sure you're you're not don't feel pressure to have a major right away, but just make sure that you have something in mind because 2 years fly by really, really quick. And then next thing you know, you're like, oh, I have to decide my major and I don't know what I want. And then that's when you'll get stuck in college where you might have to pay more then because like, you have to pay for more classes to go into the major you want. And then you'll end up spending more money, which you wouldn't want. Loans are bad, people. Loans are bad. So, just use that 2 year time frame like to the best that you can and make sure that you decide what you want in that 2 year time frame.
Yeah, I think it's like it also depends on like what major you end up picking at the end, right? Because like for me, architecture, like your schedule is set for the whole 4 years. Like you have options on what to pick like as your electives or maybe like your general education courses or whatever, right? Like your English and math, whatever. Um, but other than that, like your architecture classes are all set up. Like you have to take this the first semester and then this the second semester. It's all like structured based. So I guess you have to look into that before you go into college. I guess. I mean, like, whoever just started this semester, I guess like you already did what you already did. But going off through that, or if you're starting school next year or whatever, like make sure you look into your program in the school you're choosing and what requirements they have for like the first year or whatever like that. So I think that's really important. Um, and yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Yeah. Like also for those who are still in high school, this is the best time to like find out what you're good at and what you really like. Because coming in with a general idea of what you want to do will help you tremendously in choosing your classes. And you know what? You might end up saying, "Hey, I might not like it," so you might just and you might not like it, so you'll just switch to something else. But just having like two or three interests in high school, whether it be like, oh, I like to code, or I like to draw, or I like to sing, having a multitude of like hobbies will really help you out later on in college when you're choosing what you truly want to do. But moving on from that, uh, navigating college life if you do decide to go to college, right? So, what is it like, being a freshman? How do you like make the best of freshman year going forward to like where we are now?
I mean, I think it's. I started off my freshman year. I kind of just signed up. Like my school is really kind of weird, right? They just made us register for classes like a week before they started, and like everyone, like every freshman registered like a week before, and it was like the dumbest thing. I had no idea what I was like signing up for. I was like whatever. And what I wish I would have known before registering for classes is the website ratemyprofessor.com. It's literally like the best website you can go. And obviously, like sometimes it's not gonna be like accurate or whatever, but it gives you an idea of what other people have thought about the class or the professor, right? So it's really lit. Like most of the schools are on there, and your professor should be on there. If they're like new professors, then they're most likely not gonna be on there. I mean, you can check in like other schools, obviously, but yeah, that's on you. But definitely check on there, and then after that, it's just really just getting used to it, and with something that you might hear a lot is like the freshman 15, and that definitely happened to me, right?
Same,
So like
same.
I would, I would skip class so many times, and that was like one of the things I hated doing. So like I had a gap like between my English class and my math class. I had like a 2 hour gap, and I would go with my friends to go out to eat. Right, my friend would like take his mom's car sometimes. And we would just go out to eat, and then we would just be like, screw it, we're not going to class, and we would just chill. We have like this gaming like space in our campus, so we would just chill there for a while. And thankfully, it didn't impact my grade because we weren't like getting graded on attendance, and so like I would just catch up. But for the classes that you do need attendance, you have to be careful on that. Like make sure you don't skip that many classes, just because it is important, right? And it's just really getting to know people and getting to know who's on campus and like making friends. I think that's like the first semester, and just kind of getting the hang of, oh, I gotta do this is due to them, and making a schedule and not like overwhelming yourself.
Yeah. Um, I just want to backtrack a little and just talk about what is it like to transition into college, because you're going from high school to college, and college and high school are totally two different things, right? Um, Again, with college, you have this kind of newfound freedom if you decide to live on campus. Carlos, you travel here, but for me, I live on campus all 4 years of my time in college, and having that kind of independence, you're on your own now. You don't have your parents to like, hey, wake you up in the morning to go to class. You won't have your parents to cook you food, so you'll start have to budgeting out what kind of how you spend your money, and also books. Don't get me started on books, man. Like once you go into college, like once you start getting books for college, like for classes, that's when you realize, damn, this is gonna be rough. Cause these books can go up to like $300 if you're in like a math class, and some of them can be as cheap as $5. But it depends on the class you're taking. Also, like having, if you have the resources and the money, I totally recommend living on campus. It just gives you a whole different kind of experience than just commuting every day. Because at home, you'll have to wake up by yourself, drive over in traffic or wherever kind of mode of transportation. But also, it's that kind of hassle of going up there, and then you have a gap in between your classes. You have to sit there for like 2 or 3 hours until the next class. Well. This is the part of the podcast where things go wrong too. The lights just turned off.
How do you
Um,
God,
I'll turn it back on. Just give me a second.
all right, so we are back.
Thank you. We should add in the technical difficulties music. All right, now we're back.
You look at
Oh yeah, I can look into the fucking wall. Okay, we need to cut this out. Editor, please cut this out.
I'm the editor. Bro, alright. So what were we talking about? I honestly forgot.
Wait, now we're back from our technical difficulties.
Daniel, you dropped your water on the floor.
I dropped my water on the floor. Carlos's camera battery died. We had to move cameras, and also yeah, so everything that could go wrong went wrong. But life goes on.
It happens. Alright, so
Um,
college fucking sucks.
Cut!
No, like it's. I mean, alright. Overall, right, my college experience has been like work-wise, it's been like horrible. Like it's so hard, but I've met so many like amazing people, right? Like everyone like that I've met. Like if your school has international students, that's lit because people from the U.S. suck. But no, I'm just joking. I'm not. But anyways, no, like I've met so many amazing people from overseas and whatnot, or I don't know what the hell they call it. But yeah, international students are lit. Most of them are rich. Like all of the international students I've met are like extremely rich. Um, but yeah, I've met so many amazing people. I say try to make friends because I live in a city, right? Or we live in a city that have so many different schools near me. So I've met so many different people in so many different schools. So it's amazing, like seeing how all the schools are like, um, just how their social life is, I guess. So it's pretty interesting. Parties, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things that we should talk about is parties. Um, I mean, parties are always gonna be there, depending on like if you go to a party school, they're gonna be there like almost every day. So like a Penn State or something, right? My school is lame. We don't have any parties like at all ever. Like people are just not social there. But that's like when you come in, that like it's your choice. Like parties are out there, you just have to find them. Um, that's why I go to different schools, or right, people have like chill parties, I guess, or like a kickbacks, right? That's what they call it.
yeah.
Like people just chill, maybe take some drinks or whatever. Be safe.
That's
Just
definitely.
be safe out
Watch
there,
your
'cause-
drink, because some of
Yeah,
these people are like low lives, man. They just watch out for your drinks, ladies. Also men, but
That's
but
everyone in
main, yeah,
general.
everyone in general. But like, yeah, like you might be in like a crowded area, and you're just dancing to the music, and all of a sudden, like someone hands you a drink. Be wary of that. Like, you don't know what kind of intent they have by giving you the drink. They might be nice, but most of the time, it ain't safe. Always get your own drink. Um, Also, I wouldn't go out and like get shit from the fucking um fruit punch bowl or whatever. Like people drug that too. Like people put a lot of alcohol in that too, just to get like people who are underage drunk, and then they'll be taken abused of, advantage of. I mean, so
And like, what's it called? Don't ever go out by yourself, right? Like just have your group of friends that go out. Like, I have my group of friends that go out. I have my friends that just chill, study, right? You're always gonna have different groups, and you don't have to hang out with all of them at the same time. But if you do, that's lit too, right? Um, but yeah, never go out by yourself, cause that's like I mean that's kind of lame, low key, and like and you're gonna be by yourself too, right? You're not gonna know anyone. Obviously, you always meet like I mean I've always met people at parties and whatnot, but it's not like I would trust them with my life. You know what I mean? So like if something happens to you, you always want someone to be there for you. Um, and just everyone in general, just be safe out there. If you haven't drank, because I didn't drink until I started college, and so like I think it was my second semester of my freshman year. I was like, oh man, if something happened, right? I'll probably get into it in another podcast or something. But basically, yeah, I was like, I started drinking, and I mean, it was lit. I enjoyed it, but like I said, have someone there that and they like will protect you or whatever like that. So if it's your first time, obviously.
I'd also like to emphasize that, like, parties ain't everything, drinking ain't everything. It's one aspect of the college experience, but don't feel pressured to like, oh, I have to go party now, because that's what you see in the movies, right? There's frat parties, everyone's drinking, everyone's getting lit, everyone's doing beer pong, all that stuff. That's only one part. You still have like clubs that you can do, and other like study abroad. Like there's a lot of things you can do besides like, oh, let me find a way to go and get drunk and wasted every Friday night. That ain't the way to go.
And I mean, and if you want to go out to like clubs or whatever bars if you're of age, I mean you can. It's definitely really like a lot more expensive because parties are like everyone, but you know like there's like safety factors into play. So
Condone underage drinking. Just a heads up. And if you are underage and you do drink, please stay safe.
bruh, oh man, I mean everyone in college.
Yeah,
drinks,
everyone in
right?
college drinks,
Don't do it.
but like we don't condone it. But if you do it, please stay safe, like at all costs.
Yeah. Obviously, if you guys want us to talk about more different, because there's a million things we could talk about college.
Yeah, we
College
can
is,
go
like,
on
one
for
thing or
hours,
two
bro.
things. But hopefully we covered like the general aspects of like just going into college and maybe if it's for you or not. We're trying to make this as short and kind of
Concise as possible.
concise
Yeah.
as possible. If you guys want us to talk about more things about college or just about different topics, just definitely let us know. And I think that's a good place to stop it.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Hopefully by the time the next time we're releasing our podcast, we will have a name and it'll be a lot better, and we're in a new room as well. So thank you so much for listening. Have a great day, and please look out for the next one. Thank you.
Scat.